Hey folks, this is Ariel from Vineth, another tiny house cooking video today. This is one of the things that I do quite frequently, though it's probably a meal that most people only make around Thanksgiving. I'm going to roast a turkey. That is possible in my tiny house. I do have an oven and it holds a fairly large turkey. So I'm just going to keep talking while I show you how I do that. I have a large roast pan. This will accommodate up to, probably a maybe almost 25-pound turkey. This is March. The reason I have a whole turkey right at the moment is because usually right after Thanksgiving or Christmas or a time of year like that when everyone else cooks a turkey, the grocery stores will have leftover whole turkeys and they will go on sale. So I get, usually every year I will buy a good handful of turkeys once they become a buy one get one free deal, which seems to happen at my local grocery store, and I imagine it does at most others as well. And that's a pretty good deal for a whole bird. Then I can just keep it in the freezer and happen to cook a turkey or so every month all year, like right now. Now, if you're going to ask where in the world I keep 10 or 11 whole turkeys, given that this is my fridge right over here and freezer, and does not look like there's space in there for that many whole birds, you would be correct. I do have the opportunity to keep an extra full-size freezer in another outbuilding on the property where I park my tiny house. Look up some tiny house videos if you want info on my parking setup, but I don't own the ground and I do have the opportunity to keep some extra freezer space over there, which is great. So, I've thawed this turkey out. A whole turkey will take about 3 days to thaw out in the refrigerator. It's pretty thawed out right now. I just pulled it out of its packaging. Just got some liquid draining out here of, ice and stuff. I'm going to pop it in my roast pan. Now, most whole turkeys, you may get one that doesn't. Usually the packaging will state that if it doesn't. But most whole turkeys are going to have, let me get a little container here, have organs and such in them. The turkey is now currently facing you with, I guess it would be the opposite of facing you. This is the butt end of a turkey. But it has already been gutted and such, but things like this will be stuffed inside it. That's a turkey neck. Pull that out. And there's still a little chunk of ice in there, even after being in the fridge for 3 days. That's just ice. If I flip the turkey around the other way, this would be the end where the head would be, where the neck would have come off of. There's usually a little bag that looks something like this. That has got, if you just tear it open, it's a kind of paper, all the other organs, like a gizzard, a heart, and a liver. Now you could throw those things away, but my little secret is that the main reason I roast a whole turkey is because I want broth. I really value having a good bone broth. I use it in all kinds of other cooking. If you watch my other recipes, you will find out that I put broth in the vast majority of other meals I cook. You can certainly use just bouillon or something like that to flavor your broth, but I think it is not only tastes better, but is far more nutritious to have a good bone broth. I'm no doctor, but you can look up, if you're interested, some of the health benefits of bone broth and all of the minerals and collagen and all those kinds of things that your body needs that you don't really get from eating muscle meats. That are in things like organs and bones. So all of those organs and neck I'm going to save, just put back in the fridge, and when the turkey is done and I pull the meat off the bones, I will add the bones, skin, and all of these things to a pan and make broth. So I'll probably do a broth video. But anyway, that's what's going to happen with them. They're just going to be saved for right now. Now what you're seeing me do here is stuff my turkey. A lot of people use some kind of, Thanksgiving stuffing. I've never liked soggy bread myself, so I've never been a fan. But having something in there does help keep your bird nice and moist while it's roasting. My favorite thing to use is oranges of some kind. I actually have tangerines here at the moment just because I don't have any oranges in the house. So I packed a whole bunch in the big end, the butt end, where all of the guts came out of a turkey. And I packed just a couple in the other end, which is where the neck was attached. You can use all kinds of other things. Some people do potatoes, some people do things like carrots, celery. Like I said, my first preference is some kind of citrus. If I don't have that, probably my next choice is to use some kind of apple. Well, this one's going to be citrus. So I've stuffed all that in there. The bird is thawed the whole way out. I'm going to kind of center him in my pan here. And at this point, you wouldn't have to season it at all, but I'm going to. If you buy any standard grocery store turkey, it probably has been salted already. They are generally soaked in kind of a salt solution when they're packaged. If you grew the turkey in your backyard, it's going to be less salty. You may want to add some salt, but I'm not going to right now. I am, however, going to open a brand new bottle of poultry seasoning. If you don't have poultry seasoning in your cupboard, no worries. Poultry seasoning is just a mix of, it's not a specific spice, it's a mix of different things that tend to taste really good with a bird. It's generally got things like, this one's got thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg. I would say thyme, sage, marjoram, and rosemary are all pretty good poultry seasonings just in general. So if you have any of those, you could use some of any of those, or you can buy a pre-mixed blend of them like this, or you could not season the turkey at all. So I just kind of sprinkled the, make a mess, sprinkled poultry seasoning all over it. I just kind of like the flavor it gives it. And now this bird is ready to go in the oven. I like this older kind of roast pan. I should have showed you this before it was full. You could put a turkey in anything. You could put it in a little pan, cover it with foil. But these old roast pans that have, if you can see this, kind of the outside wall goes up and then comes in like this and makes a bowl. So you've got this airspace under here. Compared to a pan that is just shaped this way, it seems to hold heat and just roast nicer and slower with a good flavor. Now I could have preheated my oven, but there's no real need to with something that's going to be in there for as long as this is. So I have not turned the oven on yet. I'm just going to put the lid on my turkey. I did have to pull an oven rack out there. But this pan will go inside my oven. And I'm just going to turn the oven on to just about 300 degrees. Now I'm going to turn the camera off for sure, because when I roast a turkey, I'm going to leave it in there on that low temperature, 280 to 320, something like that, for, depending on the size, and this guy's a little smaller, he was only about 17 pounds, for at least the next 6 hours. So he's just going to sit in there and roast away. You can open the oven every now and then, pull it out, baste it a little if it's drying out too much on top. But in general, what you want is the turkey to be soft enough that when you pull it out, pull the lid off, and stick a fork in it, if you just kind of twist the fork, the meat will just fall apart. That is well past being edible done. It will be cooked enough long before that, but I want the meat really, really tender. So I will come back to that as soon as I check on my turkey. Hey guys, so it's like 4 hours after we put the turkey in the oven. I do have some other dinner prep stuff going on, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But we're going to pull that turkey out and take a look at how it looks. Make some room here. Ooh, I wish you could smell things on video, because this, well, the whole house is smelling amazing. Ooh, yes. Perfect. So being a store-bought turkey, this guy had one of these little, how you tell if it's done thingies that pops up. I know I'm going to cook it way past that level, so it was popped up, but I'm just going to pull that out. But as I put my fork in here and I turn, the meat doesn't quite fall off the bones. On the leg here it does. I don't know if the video will show that, but it just opens up. That's what I want the whole turkey to feel like. But I also want to not dry out, so I'm going to grab my handy little baster here. And I'm just going to drizzle some of the juice that's cooked out of the turkey in those hours back over the top. I have not added any liquid. This is simply whatever has cooked out of the turkey itself. since I popped it in the oven. So anyway, just going to drizzle a little bit of that on there and stick it back in here to keep cooking. Put the lid back on. This is hot. Oh, let me first pick this up so that maybe the camera can see the whole thing there. You can kind of see the, oranges sticking out there. Turkey's looking nice and golden. And like I said, it smells amazing. So back in the oven it's going to go. As I said, this would be edible now, but I want it really well done. So it's going to be in there for probably another hour or so. And then I'll have dinner. Check back in with you then. Okay guys, it's about an hour since we last checked on our turkey. Going to pull it back out of the oven. Should be totally done and staying out this time around. Again, everything smells wonderful. You can proudly see the steam from potatoes cooking for mashed potatoes. Gonna have some asparagus and make some broth. So let me come over here so you can see better. Ooh, steaming hot. And now when I stick my fork in here, see how the meat just kind of pulls away there? I think the video will show that. Now it's not only cooked, done enough to be safe to eat, it's cooked really well done. So at this point, I'm going to simply go through, once it cools off just enough to touch, do things like pull the skin off. I will just throw away or feed to my friend's dog the little oranges because all the juice is pretty much cooked out of them. And we're going to have dinner. So that's how you roast a turkey. It's not a scary process. It's actually super easy. It just takes some time, so you got to start ahead of time because it needs hours to bake. But other than that, it's super easy. You just stick it in there and for the most part you forget about it. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed.